An unofficial Danish embassy popped up in a quiet corner of London, where an Art Deco garage in Knightsbridge became home to a collection of vintage Danish furniture for 3 weeks in March. Curated by modernist furniture dealers Nina Hertig and Frederick Kolmorgen, their idea was to create a market with period pieces based around the Danish tradition of cabinet making.
The market has changed a lot in the last 10 years. It used to be that people were unappreciative of it and it was fairly straightforward to find the things. But as the market has grown on a worldwide scale, it's becoming much more difficult to find good pieces and also pieces that are in a good condition. So it's taken us a good 6 months to put together what we think are really, really good pieces that are beautifully made, have a classic tone to their design and hopefully have some kind of poetic beauty to them.
To understand the evolution of Danish design and its now iconic signature style, we head to the Danish Museum of Art and Design in Copenhagen. Established in 1890 to teach the country's best cabinet makers, this museum houses a collection of benchmark pieces from around the world that inspired Denmark's most famous modernist furniture makers of the 20th century.
Monocle was the designer of the museum and the father of Danish modern furniture. He liked the natural materials and the best materials, the most expensive materials. And he wanted that you should be able to sense the material. All Danish design is about sensing the material, understanding with your hands. Danish design is very much about improving and refining existing ideas and forms. It's not about making revolution. We've never had revolutions in our political history, nor had revolution in the design history. We improve on existing ideas.
Finuel remains one of the most influential figures in contemporary Danish design. An architect first and foremost, he designed furniture for his own use. These prototypes subsequently went into production and are now amongst the most collectible pieces of vintage Danish furniture. The originals can still be seen in the small museum that was once his home.
It was a time where you could be more playful with materials because the cost of labor and materials wasn't as high, so they took their time to make the perfect piece, and you can also see that from the detail on most of his pieces. I think he actually is very untraditional. I think the playfulness was very typical for the late 40s and 50s where he did his most important pieces. That inspires some people, I'm sure, because of his kind of awkward way of thinking.
The studio of Niels Roth Andersen is one of the 4 remaining Mastercraft cabinet makers still working in Copenhagen and the last old-school furniture makers to produce Finuel's furniture. His workshop provides one of the toughest apprenticeships in Denmark, and the pieces produced here are much in demand, most notably from the Japanese, who share a similar streamlined aesthetic and philosophy.
The design is, we call it here, naked. You can see in the chair, can you see the legs and the arms and the frames? We do not hide anything. That's art. And that's the design of the Japanese understanding, the Japanese kind of art. They are similar. We only see the material.
Whilst contemporary Danish designers continue to be inspired by the past and creating the new, at this moment in time, there is a healthy market for vintage pieces that have a history and wear it well.
There's an emotional response to pieces with stories. You wonder, where has it been before? It's quite a soft value. I think people are revisiting history in general. They are looking back and saying, I have a heritage, I have a story. And the Danish pieces, they were very well made, so they still function. And it's something that's not overpowering, so that you can mix it in along with all the other things that tells your particular story.
In London, for Monocle, I'm Gillian Tobias.